This is not going to be your typical earthy patchouli because Guerlain just made it elegant. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Today we are reviewing a very expensive fragrance from Guerlain called Patchouli Paris, and man, I've always been a huge fan of Guerlain. They've been around for like hundreds and hundreds of years and just have always been one of the classiest fragrance houses in the game. And I'm curious, do you guys consider Guerlain to be designer or niche? As personally, I've always considered them to be a niche brand because at the end of the day, even though they do have some cheaper fragrances, niche fragrances are not based on price, guys. They're based on what they make solely. And Guerlain only makes, I believe, cosmetics and fragrances, which would make them a niche brand, and they've been around for over 100 years. I'm excited to be reviewing this one because I had it in the collection for quite some time now, and I'm a huge fan of patchouli. So of course, we'll go ahead and see what Guerlain could come up with their patchouli fragrance. And if you want to smell like you're walking around Paris at nighttime, this is the fragrance you're going to want to check out. And I do want to shout out Guerlain for sending Patchouli Paris over for review. Of course, I'm still going to keep it honest with you guys, as I always do. If I like the fragrance, I like it. And if I don't, I don't. It's as simple as that, guys. So let's run down some information now. Patchouli Paris was launched in 2024, I believe like towards the end of 2024. So it's only been around for less than a year now at the time of the recording. For the retail price on the two sides of this one comes in, you get the 100 ml, which I have in hand for $425, or you get the 200 ml for $595. And I know that's very pricey, but this is going to be part of the higher end tier line of Guerlain, I believe called l'art and la matière line, because these things right here are a pricey gem, no doubt about it. But believe me, you're gonna get that Guerlain quality, and that's gonna cost some money to be able to enjoy. The concentration with this is going to be an eau de parfum, so you're probably getting around roughly 20% oils as well in here. And for the perfumer, that is Delphine Jelk, which I believe is the in-house perfumer for Guerlain. So, of course, you already know she's gonna be a master perfumer, has a huge resume for Guerlain as well. And of course, she's the nose behind this beauty right here. So with all the information out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the packaging and presentation you're gonna get with Patchouli Paris now. All right, take a look at the box presentation. Of course, you got Patchouli Paris, you got that B, Guerlain Paris as well. On the bottom, you got your information, a barcode, and probably a batch code right there to authenticate a product to see when it was produced. Nothing on the sides besides this kind of Guerlain seal or the back. And the presentation, as far as like the quality, kind of reminds me of like Tom Ford private blend boxes. And it does open up like so. Your bottle is going to be housed in that kind of cutout. All in all, beautiful box presentation that you can't tell is very high quality. Now, taking a look at this bottle, which I think has got to be one of the best looking bottles in my entire collection. I love the aesthetic, of course. It's black plaque on the front. You have this kind of nice kind of ribbon going around with the Guerlain logo. On the bottom, etched in is your batch code. There's no sticker, which I don't know why that is. On the bottom, you got your B embossed in the glass, which is a nice touch. You got Paris up top, which is cool. Then inside of the cap, you got the Guerlain logo, as well as on the atomizer. And the cap is pretty heavy, and it does hold on by friction very securely. And guys, take a look at that beautiful red juice color. In the top, you got the aldehydes. In the mid, you got iris. And in the base, you got patchouli, ambergris, and vanilla. And this will be classified as an earthy powdery. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Pretty good distribution. Even though it isn't pressurized, it does get the job done. So let's go ahead and remind myself of the beautiful Patchouli Paris, and of course, I'll let you guys do the first sniff. Yeah, that smells good, don't it, guys? Because in the opening, you're gonna get this very fresh, luxurious aldehydes note. Now, I've never seen aldehydes and patchouli combined together in a DNA, but man, oh man, it adds this extremely elegant touch that only Guerlain could pull off. And when I think of aldehydes, I always think of like classic, very classy, old school Chanel fragrances, because that's usually what they're known for. And only certain brands can pull off that very luxurious aldehydes tone. And this one, man, oh man, is so good right away in the opening because it's so fresh and almost like sparkling, guys, like sparkling, clean vibes going on. Imagine like taking a stroll during like Paris at night down the riverside. You have like the lights kind of sparkling off the river at nighttime. That's the kind of vibe that this one gives off in the opening, because this is pretty much Paris at night bottled up into this fragrance. That's kind of what they were going for. Now, unfortunately, I've never been to Paris. Maybe some of you guys have and been able to enjoy that kind of atmosphere. And possibly if you want a fragrance to capture that or bring back memories, maybe this one would, because there's something so romantic about this one as well, guys. And of course, when you think of Paris, you think of romance, because like the Eiffel Tower, people getting married and things of that nature. Definitely the most romantic patchouli in my collection, no doubt about it. And once you start getting into the mid of Patchouli Paris, you are going to get that iris note. And of course, as we all know, iris in and of itself is a very sophisticated, elegant, luxurious note, and it's no different into this one, guys. Very powdery, fresh iris vibe in here, mixed with the aldehyde still in the opening. It's not gonna be like your makeup bag, very waxy iris. No, it's gonna be a very powdery iris that comes across so natural. And I would expect this one to have a ton of natural ingredients, especially considering this is about a $500 fragrance. Man, I could just sit here all day and just smell this, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So do you just wanna sit here and watch me smell this all day, guys? Nah, I'm just joking. But man, I'm serious though. The iris and aldehydes combo is so elegant. And then once you make your way into the base, of course, is the star of the show. What this fragrance is basically based on is the patchouli. Now the patchouli in the dry down is gonna be this very earthy, very chocolatey patchouli, maybe one of the most chocolatey patchoulis I've tried in some time. And I've tried so many patchoulis. I've also been reviewing so many patchoulis lately, but this is just done in that very classy Guerlain way with patchouli. And it's honestly going to be hard to match the quality of this. So if you do love those very earthy, kind of chocolatey take on patchouli, you gotta check this one out, especially if you want an elegant take on it. Now, mixed with the patchouli, you are going to get this kind of warm, slightly spicy, creamy vanilla. This adds a pinch of sweetness in the dry down, along with this kind of musky take on ambergris. It's not gonna be like an animalic, salty ambergris. It's a very musky ambergris. And I'm really impressed after being a fragrance enthusiast, smelling thousands of fragrances. This right here is the kind of stuff that puts a smile on my face and makes me remember why I love fragrances so much. For the best seasons to rock Patchouli Paris, I'm primarily wearing this one in the spring, especially like spring evenings, and absolutely the fall and winter, which is perfect at the time of this recording because we are going into the fall time. And you already know this is gonna be heavy in rotation anytime I want a good patchouli during those seasons because it's so beautiful, guys, and I'm just absolutely addicted to it. Definitely not a summer fragrance at all, don't even think about it. And for occasion, this absolutely gives off more formal vibes, no doubt about it. Maybe like dressing up a little bit, maybe wearing like a trench coat, a pea coat, some nice jeans, some nice kind of Chelsea boots or something like that, or even dressing up a very, very formal like a suit or a tux. Definitely one of the most formal kind of situated patchouli fragrances in my entire collection. Absolutely gonna be a date night vibe, especially in the evening time, going to a nice fancy dinner, like a very fancy dinner, because it's based on Paris. And as we know, Paris is known for the romance. I mean, if you show up on a date, especially like a first date while wearing this, man, you're gonna absolutely impress the girl you're with. I mean, it's just gonna happen, believe me. She might even fall in love with you instantly, so use this one with caution, guys. For gender now, this is very unisex to my nose, guys. It's not like an earthy patchouli that leans on the masculine side of things. I can actually imagine a woman wearing this one and really enjoying the way she smells with it as well, especially because the powdery nuances from the iris note. And of course, the aldehydes as well. So very much unisex, both a man and a woman can rock Patchouli Paris and be very happy with it. Especially ladies that love patchouli but maybe thought they're a little bit too dirty, earthy, and too masculine for you, check this one out. For age groups, this is on the more mature side of things. I don't usually picture like younger audience like late teens, early 20s, mid 20s really gravitating towards patchouli dominant fragrances at the end of the day. And just because of how elegant, sophisticated, pricey, and just very formal this one comes across, yeah, definitely on the mature side of things. Probably anybody like 25, 30, 40s, 50s, and up rocking this one the absolute best in my head. Now, if you are younger, you like patchoulis, you like artistic fragrances, and you got a ton of money, you can wear it, of course. Because I've always loved patchoulis ever since I was in my early 20s. Now, wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you're gonna get from Patchouli Paris. Now, this is an EVP concentration. And from my testings, a couple times I've worn this one, I got upwards of 10 hours of longevity, which is very solid. Easily will get you through the majority of the day without having to reapply it or anything like that. And you kind of hope for something like that, especially if you're paying upwards close to 500 bucks for a bottle of it. So believe me, this one's still gonna be very strong. And when it comes to projection, I got about average, moderate projection from Patchouli Paris as well, which means it will push off around an arm's length of distance away from you if you're just kind of standing still. And if you walk around, the scent sillage you leave behind you smells so luxurious, so expensive, and just gives off the vibe of somebody wearing it that knows what they're doing with their life. Because believe me, your average person is not smelling anything like this at all. Well, it's gotta be somebody special to be rocking Patchouli Paris at the end of the day. So above average longevity with about 10 hours and about moderate projection is what you're gonna expect to get from this. So you will get noticed, you will get smelt, and believe me, it's not like a skin scent or anything like that. And you might even get some compliments as well because patchoulis, aren't usually known for the compliment factor, but this one might be. So let me know if you guys are a fan of Guerlain. Have you tried anything from this line? I know they have so many bangers like Tobacco Honey, I believe, and a few others that I'm not really remembering on the top of my head, but Patchouli Paris is definitely a good one as well in the lineup. So besides that, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? I got you with daily fragrance content, and I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.